I hope that I can get on it. I don't have to do anything different, do I, Brenda?
Nope, we're good. We're live.
We're live.
You can tell my computer skills are somewhat lacking. Hey, Ralph, thank you.
You're welcome, Tim.
Should we start with the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes.
Yep.
You ready?
I pledge allegiance
Allegiance
Pledge allegiance to the
to the
flag
flag,
United States of America,
and to the
to the
republic
republic for which it stands,
stands,
one nation, under God,
under God,
indivisible, with
indivisible,
liberty and
with
justice
liberty
for
and
all.
justice for all.
Ralph, you want to do roll call?
Yes, okay. Mr. McDonough is excused. Mr. O'Brien? Here, Tim, right? Are you on mute?
He was here.
He was here. It looks like he is on mute and he looks like he's still connected.
Okay, we'll go back to him. Ralph.
Okay. Mr. Scripp, he's excused. Mr. Jefferson
Here.
and Mr. Mitchell.
Present.
Although it looks like we lost him. We did. Okay, we'll give him a couple minutes. Oh, here he is. He's back.
Here he comes. You gotta love technology.
Yes.
Murphy's
Listen,
Law. When it can go
I
wrong,
just-
it will go wrong.
I just figured out 20 minutes ago how to change my name because it was spelled incorrectly for the last like 6 months.
Okay.
Hey, good for you. I still don't know. You hear me now?
Yes, we
Yeah, we
can.
got, yep.
It's something popped up. Join the meeting, so I hit it, but it was another meeting. So I got knocked off.
Okay, so Ralph, Tim is present.
Right, okay. Tim, do you want to proceed to the next order there, election of officers for the year 2020?
Don't have it in front of me. You got to help me a little bit. Had a real issues today, but so you got to guide me through it. I don't have anything in front of me. I wasn't here yesterday. But yeah, so let's go to the first thing on the agenda, the election of officers. Am I right there, Ralph?
Yeah. Somebody want to make the motion to keep the?
I'll make a
officers?
motion that we maintain the same officer, same position as last year or as the previous year.
I second it.
Everybody okay?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay, then it will be again, chairman will be Kevin McDonough, vice chairman Tim O'Brien, treasurer Andy Scripp, secretary Charles Jefferson, assistant secretary, assistant treasurer Kevin Mitchell. Okay. Tim, you don't have the agenda or anything there?
I don't, Ralph.
Okay. Okay.
Sadly, a medical emergency in my house, and
Yeah.
we haven't been around.
Of course.
Brenda, do you want to do the
Sure. Okay,
going forward?
Thanks, Brenda.
no problem. Okay, opportunity for public to address the board. Ralph, did we receive anything?
No, the public had until 9 o'clock this morning to submit anything, and I did not get anything.
Next is presentation of minutes for approval. They were sent out in the meeting packets. Did everyone have a chance to review?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yes.
Questions,
Yes.
any changes? Okay,
Nope.
so then Tim, I guess you can make a motion.
Make a motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
On the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, next is the presentation of vouchers for examination and approval. They're from December 10th, 2021 through March 9th, 2022. Let's see. Ralph, we have one, which is our Lackawanna County General Fund. It's the reimbursement for our director's liability insurance for $2,746.20. Anyone have any questions on that?
Well, Brenda, just so I added those two together and that equals the amount, the reimbursement for the legal ad as well.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, okay.
Yeah, the legal ad was 201.20. And the liability insurance was 2,545 with a total of 2,746.
Brenda, do we need a motion on that?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
aye,
Aye. Passed.
Old business discussion items. This is me, so I'll take this one. For our Brownfield grant update, our grant was awarded from the EPA in 2019 for $600,000. We have spent approximately 235,000 of the 600. The grant does expire in September of 2022. But we will be requesting an extension due to COVID. And we've been in talks with our grant manager and they're fine with that. So we'll look to extend that because we are making a lot of progress. We've completed 9 phase 1 reviews, 3 phase 2. I'm going to share my screen because I think that if I can, hold on, I'm sorry. Okay, for some reason I don't look like I can. I apologize. I was going to share the screen and show some maps. Oh, here I go. Never mind. Okay. My Zoom master. Okay. Sorry. I apologize.
Oh, it's coming up.
Okay, good. Okay, so the first one is Noble Biomaterials. This facility is expanding. We did a phase 1 and a phase 2 for them. They're going to expand their footprint on their own property. They have some environmental issues, and we are assisting with the remedial plan that they are going to fund. But this is, a great use of our funds from an economic development standpoint and an environmental standpoint. So
Certainly sounds it.
yes, so this is in Southside. We have 4 on behalf of Dunmore. They own a property in Dixon City. This near Viewmont Drive, Gibbons Ford is here. So this property right now is not being used. And at the request of Dunmore, we did a phase 1 environmental for them. They are based on the phase 1. There are some environmental potential concerns, so they are recommending a phase 2. We are in talks with Dunmore Council to decide to move forward or not with a phase 2. They're also looking at a resolution that stated that it must be held in ownership by a municipality or a municipal authority. So they're going to look at that because potentially there could be, some development from a developer rather than from the municipality. So we're going to come back to this one and decide to move forward or not with a phase 2. Because it is a large piece of property. So a phase 2 would be approximately $100,000. So it's a large investment.
So Brenda, do you have any idea what the concerns are that would require a phase 2?
Yeah, environmental. So there's definitely like coal dumpings within here, and they'll do borings within different areas based on the recommendations of the consultant.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, it's a huge piece of property.
Oh, it's very valuable, I think.
Yes,
Mhm.
So we are with this funds, we're assisting Dunmore in potential development of the property. Next is.
So Brenda, just getting back to that property. So would the redevelopment authority be, how would we be involved as helping a developer?
So what we from the redevelopment authority, we're part of the coalition between the city of Scranton, Lackawanna County, and our redevelopment authority. So we went forth and we applied for the grant. This is our second brownfield grant. We had a $500,000 brownfield grant in 2015. We applied again and received 600,000 in 2019. So from the standpoint of managing the grant and the assessment. So right now we are assisting them to further development from the environmental standpoint. If they do decide to do additional development and they approach whoever ends up with this property, we could assist in many ways, different tools within our toolbox as a redevelopment authority. Not sure if there's, utilities there or not, but from the standpoint, we could potentially look to do a TIF if need be. So, there are ways we could assist, but right now we definitely have, helped out with the phase one because it's really been sitting there and not being looked at for many, many years. And we all know that to be able to do any type of development on a property like this that could have potential contaminants, you had to do the first step of a phase one, which, we assist it with.
Yeah, that's great. Because there is a lot of, and Charlie, I'm sure you hear them. There's a lot of rumors on this property, and some of them have to do with the big medical facility.
Yeah, I've heard those. I don't know. I don't know how true they are one way or another, but any economic development there associated with that will be good for the county and good for everybody.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that's Brenda. That's great.
Let's see. We have, this is Taylor Colliery. We are doing a phase one at the moment and potentially looking to maybe do a phase two, but we'll see. Again, this is a huge, huge piece of property, but there is potentially a developer interested within this. So again, we're assisting through the brownfield grant with this.
So Brenda, who owns that property in Taylor?
Taylor Borough.
Taylor Borough owns that too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the last one, this is the most exciting to me, is Boomerang Park. UGI right now is doing remediation on this park. This sits, our trolley museum is here.
Yeah.
Trail, goes along here. So ultimately, we are going to look to do a phase one and a phase two, just to coincide with development, potential development from the county taking ownership and creating a park. So, this is really exciting, a waterfront park within downtown footprint of Scranton. So exciting, it's in, we're moving along. And it'll be great to actually see this come to fruition. And our money from the Redevelopment Authority through our Brownfield grant is helping to make another great project happen.
Brenda, do we know the extent of remediation UGI is undertaking on the site?
I have a report that I can most certainly share. They are only so they're not going to residential grade. So that's reasons, not that we're looking to do that, but we want to do our own phase one and phase two to understand what we could or could not do from a park standpoint. So that's why we are going forward with the phase one and phase two on this. But know that it's very interesting if you ever walk it, there's pockets, if you can kind of see where the pockets are of contamination that they're removing. But I can most certainly share with the group their plan of what they're removing.
Yes, please.
And that is it around the brownfield update, unless anyone has any questions. Okay, go back here, try to go back. Trying to see if I can stop sharing. All right, how about we leave that up? Okay, Taylor, how about, right, Taylor Oaks, We'll go into that.
There you go.
Oh, see, I have my Zoom master. Where would I be without him? Thanks, Joe.
Brenda, could I ask, since you mentioned the word TIF, and if it's later in the agenda, just cut me off, but how's our project going on the TIF in Taylor?
I'm going into that right now.
Oh, okay. Sorry to,
No, that's okay. $3.8 million TIF we have with Taylor One LLC. They have total loans outstanding of $1.76 million. There is an additional loan pending right now, loan committee review for approximately $500,000. They haven't come back with all of the details. We're waiting for the numbers from the bank. So once we get all that, we will share with the board, and then Tim, yourself, or Kevin will have to probably attend another closing for that after, we have Katie, our solicitor, review it as well. They have completed the first phase. They have, and again, this is on Oak Street in Taylor. They have constructed 48 units, of which 36 are rented at approximately $1,800 to $1,900 a month rent. They're 2 bedrooms. They also have 2 duplexes that are all rented, and they will be occupied June 1st of 2022. And those are 2 bedrooms, 2 baths, and they're around $2,000 a month. And then we'll move on to the second phase, which this current pending loan will help to support the infrastructure, which will start in about 6 weeks, and that's for another 36 units. So it's been a long time coming. This has been in the works for a very long time.
10 years.
Yeah, so it's good to see progress going on. I would have liked to have seen, the TIF done in one loan and in one phase, but it didn't work out that way. But at least it's moving along and it's coming to fruition, and properties are on the tax rolls to help support the loan, which is what the TIF is all about.
Yeah.
Brenda, do we have any information on who is moving into those units? Is it people moving within the county, or is it people coming from outside of the county? Are they coming in for jobs? Are they?
I can find out. I'll talk to him. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I just, from a redevelopment standpoint, I think that would be good for us to know.
Mhm. Charlie, what I've heard, and this you can't take to the bank, but I've heard that people are moving out of their existing houses into there, or moving from their apartments because it's, so much better than, it's just new construction.
Yeah.
Don't take that to the bank. That's what I heard.
Yes, they have on top, that sits on top of it, which was actually part of our TIF district, but then they sold the property to Clover, and Clover did get alerta on it, and that is senior living sitting on top of these other properties. So it's kind of like the top lot has senior living, and then
Right.
you have residential living on the next 2 lots. It's actually amazing to have seen, because again, it was another area that was just blighted with, cold.
Wow, it's brutal.
Right. And now you drive up that street, and it's amazing the development that has happened. So, and again, it goes back to the Redevelopment Authority, us providing and supporting a TIF.
Yeah, so Brenda, you and Ralph, I have to give you a heads up on that, or a thumbs up, I guess, a better term, because I don't think most people would have had the patience or knowledge to keep this alive. And from all indications are now it's doing well. So
Yes.
great job by both of you
Good.
guys. It really is.
Thank
Good.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good.
Okay. Next up is new. Does anyone have any questions on old business discussion item? Okay. New business action items. Resolution number 1133-22. This is a resolution ratifying and approving an engagement letter and professional services contract for audit services for year ending 2021. May I have?
Yeah,
I thought we already did that, didn't we?
Well, we did an email poll and everybody approved
Okay.
Mhm.
of that. So in fact, and we're just ratifying the agreement and the engagement letter. In fact, the audit is done. And after this meeting, I will forward a copy of the audit to everyone for their
Yeah.
review.
This is Joe Lou, right, Ralph?
Yes.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think it's an extremely reasonable price,
Mhm.
extremely.
Oh,
And Joe does
I
great.
agree.
So, I mean,
I thought it was more than fair.
I think it's too low, but I'm not going to tell that to Joe. I would never say anything to Joe, but I would make a motion.
I second it.
On the question?
All right.
Aye.
Open discussion items. Okay, so I unfortunately, and I apologize, I was not at the last meeting, but Tim, I know that you brought up some questions or some comments just about some of the things that we do here in Lackawanna County in general, and then also within the Department of Planning and Economic Development. So I put together some highlights, and I know it was shared with the board, just on some of our programs and some of our accomplishments and how a lot of the programs have truly helped and spurred economic development and community development. So I don't know if anyone had any questions on that. Please feel free to ask me or take it offline. Another thing that I started doing on our Facebook page, and I'm going to try to do this almost every week, just a did you know? And it's a little did you know session where my first one was our SBA fee waiver, and I kind of went over what it is, where you can apply for it, and how many businesses we've helped, how many jobs we've created and retained, and how many loans that we've leveraged. So I'm going to try to keep doing that so that the public is aware of a lot of the programs that we have to offer in Lackawanna County, and try to get the word out, because there is really a lot of programs, and I give our boards, our authorities, our commissioners a lot of credit that they've helped to create or support a lot of these programs, because many other counties don't have a lot of the programs that we have. And
So Brenda, not to take up much time here, but unless it's changed, Lackawanna County was the only county in the country that had this SBA program. Others may have it now. I don't know. The guy from SBA said not, but that doesn't mean it's not. So I just think we need to get this out to the public. And the way you're doing it's fine, but can you get like at one of the TV stations or the newspaper to come and interview you and just go over this? Because Brenda, I honestly don't think that most people, when we get an SBA loan at Fidelity Bank, we have in the back of our mind, is this Lackawanna County, can they get a break on the fees? And it makes a huge difference to somebody, because most SBA loans are SBA for a reason. And, there's a capital issue sometimes. So Charlie, it's where companies that borrow money in SBA some significant fees, and the county will pay them.
I think it's a great program. We took advantage of it when we did our SBA 7A up at Montage.
Yeah, so I mean, Brenda, we got to get that
Awesome
out.
program.
And I'm not saying it because Fidelity set it up. I'm not saying it. I don't want our name at all. But the reality is we got to get this word out to one of the TV stations. They'd come and talk to you for sure.
yeah.
The challenge there, Tim, is it's a good story with no bad side to it. So I don't know how you're going to get anyone to cover it.
Well, we have to.
I'm sorry.
Good point. Good
Charlie,
point, Charlie. Good point.
Charlie, I agree. I would say that if you didn't say it, but it's time to cut that bullshit and realize at that last meeting, we have to do it, even if we have to pay for our own ad, something. Because there's nothing negative about any of those programs, nothing. And there's no politics either. Believe me, there isn't. If you qualify, you get it. If you don't, you don't. That's black and white.
Yeah.
It is. And honestly, so since 2013, there have been 123 business recipients. We've awarded $1.3 million. We've leveraged $75.6 million in total loans. We've created 627 jobs and retained another 1,603. So
Mhm.
those numbers speak for themselves. Yeah.
And at least the ones that
It's-
we're involved with, I want to say none of them failed because I'm superstitious. But let's hope, I don't think they did. So I won't say.
Montage is still in business.
But I'm serious. So we have to, how can we get that out to the public?
It's a great question, Tim. I don't know the answer. I do think it's a great program. I think it's had some incredible success, as have a lot of these things that, quite honestly, I mean, I know about them because of my involvement here, because of my involvement with Brenda and everybody else, because, these are the things that we talk about when we sit around and talk about things, it's a good question. How do you, some of these smaller programs, the $5,000 for restaurants and the things like that. I mean, I don't know, I don't know which restaurants or who's taking advantage of them or whether any of these programs are still out there, but, certainly there's a need for them. And it's a good question to try to figure out how you get the word out.
So if Brenda, if you give me the okay, our marketing director is pretty close to one of the great TV stations. Let me see if I can at least get that ball rolling and see if everybody's okay with that.
I don't see any harm in it.
Brenda or Ralph or anybody else?
I'm fine with it.
All right,
I think it's a great idea.
we'll try. Don't mean we'll get it done, but we'll try.
Okay. I'm all in.
All right.
Brenda, this PowerPoint is pretty awesome. I appreciate the effort that went into putting it together. I've read through it a couple of times. There's things in here that I wasn't even aware of. I probably need to read through it a few more times before I ask some questions. But one of the things that's in here that is timely, while it's not it's not the grant programs or anything like that. I know you and I have talked about it. Which is the Lackawanna County Music Fest program that you guys have coming up in May. And I think it begs mentioning because, that's love to see good attendance for that. And, in any way, shape or form that we can help promote it. I'd love to be able to help promote it for you or whatever else. But I think, I would like to mention that here because I think it's a great program for the county and certainly a great program from an intent standpoint to help the businesses that have suffered the most from the last couple of years.
Thank
Great
you.
point, Charlie.
Yes, it's May 14th. It's called Give Back on the Mountain. We are using American Rescue Plan Act funds for it. It is free to vendors and free to the public. And the musicians that received musician grants back in December through our grant program will be performing throughout the day. We gave out 77 grants. I'm not sure exactly how many of them are playing, but if it's anything like the day when we gave the grants out in the grant checks in our lobby, it was just amazing. I mean, we had performers that were receiving their grant checks playing in our lobby. So, and they all started playing together. So it was a great vibe, a great way for our community to come together and support each other. So I'm excited.
So Charlie, I just want to accent what Charlie just said as far as thanking you, Brenda. And if it's appropriate, I don't know, to make a motion from the board so it's documented that the effort that Brenda and her team put together to put this package together. I think we asked you to do it and you did it. You did a great job. So if somebody wants to put that in the form of a motion, I'll make the motion. Maybe you can put it in, Brenda, and then I really think it should be part of our minutes.
Yeah, and thank you. And I have to thank my team. My team
Right.
worked really hard on gathering all this information. Poor JJ, who's on the call, I drove him crazy. He had to, run around everybody and gather all the information and put in the PowerPoint. And I really just put some finishing touches on it. So definitely the team. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
So
How about if I give it a shot, Tim? My motion would be to acknowledge the time and effort that went into compiling the PowerPoint presentation, identifying all of the grants and aid programs that Lackawanna County has, and documenting all of the statistical information that Brenda and her team have put together to acknowledge what the redevelopment authority has done for the county and what the county as part of the county.
Sounds like a motion. I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, kid.
And I think that was it. Tim, the German is next, and our next meeting is June 8th, 2022 at 1. Do you want to continue virtual, or do you want to do in person? You can get back to me, let me know.
I'll be honest with you, I love it virtually.
Me too, Charlie. I'd love it too. I do.
I know what all of you look like. I've met you all many times, as you have me. So, unless there's a desire to sit in the room, I'd like to save us all the travel time.
I agree. And looking out the window and see it snowing has got to even be better for you, Charlie.
Warms my cold little heart.
All right, well, that happened.
Brenda, I would
agree.
like to. I'm still, I've been looking through this thing for 2 days, and I'll follow up with you individually, and maybe we can talk a little bit more about it on the next meeting. But I just, there's a lot of good programs in there, and I think that particularly things like the KOZ that may or may not be expiring. I don't know all the details, and some other things here that I think just from a redevelopment standpoint, and from what I see on just my level and in talking to other folks, I mean, there is a tremendous I don't want to use the word renewed, but there's a tremendous interest that I'm seeing lately from people who are looking at properties in the area. People are looking at opportunities in the area. I'm working right now with 2 businesses that are new to the county. One is new to the state, and people are noticing us, so to speak. And I don't know, if any of these programs are, if there's a list, like somebody, if I'm a prospective business from outside the state, is there a Lackawanna County list that says, here's the things that are available to you, or do you have to channel them to you or somebody else? Because, some of these things I think could move the needle for a few of these businesses.
Yes, and
Yeah.
Live, work, play within our Lackawanna County website. So if you go into our live, work, play area, there's economic development incentives. So a lot of those are listed here. We have our KOZs on our website that are current. We are redesigning our website to make it much more friendly, user friendly. So, a lot of times, Charlie, someone's coming new and you can most certainly send them my way. They'll come in and meet with me, and I can go over this stuff. So, and I know you've been a part of that with me in welcoming to this area. So whatever you guys think we need to do to get this message out better.
And I think the PR will help that too. So Charlie, you made me think of one thing, and maybe we have it and I'm not aware of it. I know some other counties do, is where, let's just say our redevelopment authority, let's say Tim O'Brien Inc. needs to borrow $5 million. So through some type of a method, the redevelopment authority might be able to borrow the money from maybe a tax-free basis, maybe just less expensive than the client is. So what I have seen, I haven't seen it of recent years. So the redevelopment authority takes no risk. They go out and borrow the money and they get a letter of credit from a bank to back it up. So the end beneficiary is the client, with the cost of funds is much less. So I don't know whether I'm being clear on that. So let's say Tim O'Brien Inc. borrows $1 million. I borrow it from the redevelopment authority. The redevelopment authority gives me a great deal because of the fact they can get the money cheap. So how does the redevelopment authority not take any risk? Whoever my banker is issues me a letter of credit for the redevelopment authority's benefit. So whether I pay or not, the redevelopment authority really doesn't care because they have a letter of credit backing it up. but the client can get generally much better terms. So
Right.
they may even be able to do a tax-free loan without all the crazy issues we have to do for individual tax-free loans. So that is something, Brenda, that, maybe I could help with that, but it's something that Luzerne County used to have a program like that. They don't anymore. I don't think there's anything in Lackawanna County, we have the Industrial Development Authority, but that's different. This is a direct facility from the Redevelopment Authority, where the Redevelopment Authority has no risk. And,
Interesting.
it's interesting. So some TIF projects do that, which has actually
Yeah.
made me think of it. That's what the TIF that we have on the books is. The TIF here is the creditor for Plisco and Navage, but and our Redevelopment Authority is the borrower here, but we don't have any risk because it's a pass-through. But maybe we could go further in that, like others did, and actually give the money because we can borrow the money cheaper. Just a thought for everybody to think about. And it's complicated, but it works.
And we can talk with, I know Katie couldn't make it today, but we can have a conversation with our solicitor as well.
So I would love to have that, and whatever you want me to do,
Okay.
just send me a Zoom.
Okay,
And anybody else who would like to participate, Charlie, I think it would be, because I know you well enough, and the other
Yeah.
people may be fine, but it can really be a real big incentive to people developing in the county. It really can.
No, happy to participate.
Okay. Well, should we adjourn the meeting, Brenda?
I'm good if you guys are good.
I have nothing further.
So do I.
See you, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye.
I think Tim just said he'd like a motion to adjourn. I will
I
give you
second
the,
it.
I'd make a motion to adjourn.
I don't know what the hell
I
I was
second
saying.
that, Charlie.
I'll second this. Good meeting, it really was.
Absolutely. Great. Thanks,
Thanks,
everyone.
See you
everybody.
guys.